Hi YouTube, we're back from Las Vegas Regionals. What's your name and what'd you do today and what'd you play?
So I'm Anthony Gausepohl, representing Royalty of Just Flip, and then also Brady Bunch of Duelist Grounds. Played Gouki at the Las Vegas Regionals. I went 8-0-1, or 7-0-1, 8 rounds total.
Okay, so you played Gouki. There was a bit of buzz about the deck. Recently one of your other players played Gouki. I mean, before the new support, obviously, so what made you decide to play the deck?
Basically that player, Tom, my teammate, he went, was it 5th place, I believe, or 6th after the final standings at San Jose Regionals. He played Gouki, he made it board load control, so he didn't have the new Nightmare support that you're going to see, but he did really well. He gave me the deck list, basically told me what to do, the combos, and I just ran with it. I trust my teammates.
For sure. So let's get to the deck profile then.
Yeah, so you start out with basically the best Gouki, that's Super X. When you summon them, you special summon any other Gouki from your hand. You run 3 Headbats, which is level 2. You discard a Gouki to special summon itself from your hand. You run 2 of the Octo Stretch, that's the level 1. Its primary use is coming out through the Assault, which you'll see later. Twist Cobra, the level 3, you run 2 of those. That's going to be the one that helps pump up stuff if you're in that kind of game, or again, it's just another Gouki for your plays. And I run 1 each of the 5 and the 6. The 6's primary function is to be discarded with the 2, and the 5 you just use in your combos or as a starter sometimes.
Sure. Did you like the ratio of these Gouki cards? Would you make any changes?
I wouldn't really make any changes. The ratio seemed really good. As you can see, like, these are the main ones. These have their roles, and then these kind of are just the filler ones, which are different names, so you want to run them. But besides that, I think the ratio is perfect there.
Okay, so did you play any other monsters in the Goukis?
Yeah, so you see those are the Gouki monsters. Then you basically run the extenders. So that's going to start with basically 3 Junk Forwards, 3 of the Blue Mountain Butter Spies, and 1 Spiral Super Agent.
So I don't think many people know really what all these cards do, so could you explain what they all do?
So this monster here, you special summon it when you have no monsters. The Butter Spy here is like a Kage-Takagi. When you normal summon a warrior, you can basically special summon this as well. And then the Spiral Agent, we've had so many formats of this. You special summon it. What these all have in common is they're warriors. The whole goal is to basically get a Gouki on the board along with the warrior. And this whole package here allows you to fulfill that. Any Gouki plus this is your combo.
So you just want to get to Isolde as fast as possible,
yeah,
correct? 2
warriors, and you just have to have basically a Gouki to start with is the best, otherwise your combo just kind of start getting worse from there.
Okay, and since there's only 3 Super X, you obviously needed to find other extenders, and these are the 7 you decided on. Okay.
And then, of course, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! So you have to have some form of like protection against the FTKs and everything around. Hand trap wise, 3 Ash and 3 Ogre.
Did you want any other hand traps?
Eventually it may end up becoming something like that with some other cards in the deck, but these were perfect. Some matches I sided out the Ogres, the Ashes almost always stayed in. Part of that was just the meta that I faced there. Facing a lot more like Infernoid BA decks where Ash has a lot more function. But yeah, in terms of the hand traps, the 6 were really good. Maybe a Droll would be going in there, but we would have to see about that.
Okay, how about we go to the spells next?
There was actually one more monster
Was there
left.
one more monster?
Yeah. The last monster is Ibli.
Okay, so what's the use of this card? I know this is a new card from the set.
Yeah, Ibli's whole function is part of the combo. You normal summon it, and you can bring a Cerebus back later in the combo, and you special summon this Mermaid in the beginning of the combo. That's really its only function. If it's in your hand, it changes the combo. You can still do it, everything. But in terms of the actual card, it's not a Garnet in your hand because you still do everything, but you don't want to see it compared to like other cards in the deck.
Okay. Okay, so now we can move on to the spells,
Yeah.
correct? Okay, cool.
Yeah, in terms of spells, very small lineup. 2 Gouki Rematch, that's your Soul Charge. Monster Reborn, just get your 1 monster out. Rhoda to search basically the whole deck, which most of it's warriors that you want to summon. And the 2 equip spells that I ran with, these basically just for Isolde, what you send.
Okay, could you explain, I think, Phoenix Blade? I know many people already know Moon Mirror Shield from, like, Demise, like, stun decks, but what does the Phoenix Blade do?
Phoenix Blade allows you to send one of these equips from the Isolde, and with Phoenix Blade, which is your main one you want to send, you banish 2 warriors from your deck or your graveyard to add this back to your hand. So it played roles previously in old formats where just you keep discarding it. It has the same role here for all the nightmares. You just keep discarding it for Nightmares, which when they're co-linked draws you cards. So every warrior in your deck that you get into the grave, by banishing 2 of them, you get this back, which turns into another draw.
So it's just free pluses, I guess.
Yeah, pluses in a deck where once you swarm the whole board, even if they can answer you, you have a handful of 5 cards again sometimes, which is a perfect way of just combating the meta. Moonmirror Shield, as you said, people know this card due to stun decks. It also has the role in this deck of, if you just ran 1 equip and you drew it, your Assault combo is basically dead. By running both of these, even if you draw both of these in the worst case situation, you can play it on one of your Gouki monsters, link with it, and then basically get this back to your deck.
So essentially you can always summon the level 1 Gouki.
Yeah.
Off his ult. Okay.
And that would be all the spells there. And then something a bit different than I've seen in other decks, I run the full complement of traps. Again, Tom thought these were really good, and I agreed throughout the whole tournament. 3 strikes, 2 of the new card, Infinite Impediments, I think the name, Imperial Order, Solemn Judgment, and Solemn Warning.
Okay, so I mean the other traps are pretty standard. What do you think about Imperience?
I think this card is trash. It really was decided, basically it was like 2 upstarts in my deck. I sided them out every time. The only matchup it actually did help was my 1 draw against my teammate running Gokis. It was a Veiler in that situation, but in everything else, it really just didn't seem like this was the card I was alluding to earlier. These could come out even for more hand traps and basically have the same kind of function, while also monsters help later on when you're in the firewall loop.
Okay, you guys heard it here, folks. This card sucks. Get rid of it while it's still $70.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess extra deck next.
Yeah, we'll go to extra decks. Just one more thing on the traps. One reason they're important is if my whole deck was monsters, Nightmare looping into more monsters helps, but if they create a board, it doesn't. By Nightmare looping cards drawing into traps, you actually have a board to combat, which helps, as you see, like with the combo, 2 Assault. That's your primary link monster. Your whole deck's goal is to go into this. If you as people ask me afterwards how to combat this deck, if you can hit the cherries or the firewall, which you'll see later, that's a big important part. This is key. I run 2 of those. The Nightmare monsters, I run 1 of each here, so it's 6. You have 1 Griffin, 1 Cerberus, 1 Unicorn, 1 Goblin, 1 Mermaid, and 1 Phoenix.
Did you ever want one more of maybe Phoenix or Unicorn as later game removal?
Not really. Again, as part of the main combo of the deck, you use these 4. Unicorn and Phoenix are just kind of utility. When I know I'm going to OTK, then these come out to just clear the way. But going first, you use all 4 of these in your main combo. They all serve their purpose. Sadly, 15 cards isn't a lot, so you have to choose all their roles. I would love to run, if you could run 2 of all these, that'd be awesome, but 15 cards is not a lot, so you have to get it all down. And I think 1 of each is where you want to be. So you have all those. Then you have 1 MX Saber Invoker.
What's the purpose of this card?
So this is just a way to get to Assault. You can make this with, say, 2 Junk Forwards or a Junk Forward and a hand trap, and it gets you to Assault. In all, I only went this 1 time in the tournament, and it got Veilered, which that's part of the reason the whole way I played this was to be safe. Assault is very safe. You summon it. If you have a Gouki trigger, you chainlink 1 this, chainlink 2 the Gouki. They can't ogre this. This cannot be safe. This is just any summon, every hand trap your opponent has can kill this.
So you didn't consider something like maybe a Tour Guide or Galaxy Worm or even the Predator engine?
No, because even when you run those, it helps you make this. And again, if your opponent has no disruption, this is great. But in this Yu-Gi-Oh format, everyone runs disruption. So even when I could go this, I even went Assault most of the time. My teammate was even talking about beforehand, this probably should be a 3rd Assault. It makes the deck less explosive, but again, when you're going off and your opponent doesn't have a hand trap, you don't necessarily need something that's more explosive. You just need to be able to do your combo. And in the grindy games, a 3rd Assault helps. Or even the fact that this here just doesn't. Another utility card could maybe. Then you just have basically, these are all parts of the combo, or just utility monster in terms of board load. But when you do the main combo of this deck, you're going to end up going into each one of these monsters throughout the course of the combo. So, Trigate, that's your ending board basically guy. It does your 1 negate. You can banish when you're going for the OTK. Binary Sorceress is here to help make the Curious. You end up making it basically with the Cerberus from before, Binary, and a Gouki. The Curious is going to mill a trap so you can get it back with the Griffin later in the combo. Link Kuribo allows you to go with the level 1. With its ability, you basically going to just turn this with the Curious into the Griffin, and then you're going to end up getting it another special with the Firewall. This guy is key for the deck. It should have been banned a while ago. It probably will get banned at some point because Firewall spam is just an unfair way of playing the game, especially when you get pluses off of your spamming. You just keep going and you keep getting more. So that's the whole goal, is as soon as you get to this, you just keep playing monsters and linking and making things bigger and just worse for your opponent. And Borreload is just a great card. Basically, with this card, you're able to get over Masterpiece, which is a big part of the metagame right now. It also just combats, like, again, BA Infernoids, things like that. It's a big monster. It does a lot of work.
Okay, so that's the whole extra deck?
Yeah, that's the whole extra deck there. Not all the extra deck monsters I play. I side deck 2 of them, but the whole extra deck.
Would you consider changing anything in the extra deck? I mean, you noted, what is it called? You noted the Invoker. Other than that, was there anything else that was, like, problematic?
Not really. Like, the Invoker, again, is the main thing. It's... If you want to play optimally, you want to play safer on the conservative side, and Invoker doesn't allow that. You have to go for it. That's the same reason why Galaxy Worm, again, like I said, is bad. You have to go for it. There's no, like, oh, Galaxy got stopped, let me extend. It's not a warrior. It doesn't do anything there. And then to the side deck. Again, most of these were all designed for going second. Since I decided to go with all the traps you see, the counter traps here, one of my teammates decided to main this package instead. He did well, too. He got 17th. He lost the last round in time. But all of these are designed to help going second against main decks. So you end up having basically 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Evenleys, 3 Red Reboots, and the 2 Gamma Seals. They all came in just clutch throughout the whole day, since I normally won game 1 whether I went first or second. Just the board by swarming and the presence. Going second afterwards, I knew if they saw me run, basically, if I saw them running traps, these things were great. Red Reboot won me a couple games. Against even Alter guys, I believe that was round 5. He set 5, I Red Rebooted his anti-spell, and then he died.
So it was no different than just, like, dankoing him in standby or something, right?
Paying half your life points is not a problem when you kill them that turn. Gamma Seal is just very useful. You tribute, basically... I attributed, was it a Nunku earlier? I attributed Masterpiece. There was a lot of BA Infernoids at the event. But all of these cards, just great going second. That's when all my traps would come out, because going second, I don't want to have my strikes and things like that. This isn't a deck that flips the board, and then now I can set my traps and it's like I went first. This deck, you either play the grindy Gouki game, which is fine, and these we're going to work with that going second, or you set up your board turn 1 a lot of the time.
Okay, so these are your go second cards, and it seems like you have 4 more spots, so what are those?
Yeah, these 4, it's Waking the Dragon package.
Okay, so what does Waking the Dragons do?
When it's destroyed or banished by an opponent's card effect, I can special summon a monster from the extra deck or main deck.
So I'm guessing those are the 2 targets that you wanted to special summon?
When Waking the Dragon comes in, depending on the matchup, 1 or both of these come in. This card is terrific against True Draco. 3,500, it's really hard for them to answer. It either puts them on a Kaiju, or they have to have Masterpiece with Chalice and Diagram, and it has to be spell immune. When you get into all the outs they basically have for that, it's really good. Then the last warrior I started playing, because against Trickstar, no one's actually playing outs to this. Like, one of my teammates ran Blazing Mirror Force, not necessarily for this, but because it was good. And that's the gentleman who's actually holding the camera right now. But it's just the card is really good. You bring it out, they can't summon anymore. So if they can't summon, they can't really burn you. And at that point, even Scapegoats, Eater Millions, they all start becoming a lot worse. Trickstar is a very fragile deck that can't even answer normal monsters at 2,000 like Astrograph. They won't be able to answer this. So this package is great. And then, again, what I normally took out would be MX Saber Invoker, and then if they played a lot of back rows, I'd keep Phoenix in, otherwise that would come out.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. This again worked really well. I got it off 1 time, but if they see traps, they're trap removal like Twin Twister or Cosmic's always coming in, so I know this is going to work out.
Would you play this card again?
I would. In terms of, it depends on the meta of what I would want. The Naturia Exterio is also another option. I don't know if I were to put that in. Extra deck space again is tight, as well as side deck space. So I may be cutting this for an Exteria depending on the meta, but we have to see about that.
Okay, sounds good. Do you want any shout-outs or anything, or yeah?
Yeah, like I said, hashtag royalty. That's my team. Myself as well as Mark. He got 5th today, or 5th yesterday at the regional. He topped. I had another 2 teammates there, or 3 actually if you count Sean. He's a bonobo monkey. But Bruce, the cameraman, he did well. He scooped to one of my teammates to get him an invite, and then Calvin, who got his invite. So it was a pretty good event for us, and then just my teammates in general. Just with TCG, which we're in right now, that's my local store. The owner there, if it wasn't for him, I basically wouldn't be in card games right now. And then again, like I mentioned, Brady Bunch on Duelist Grounds. We're not around much anymore, but the members of that team, they're my friends. They impacted my life in Yu-Gi-Oh! There.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the deck profile again, and thank you for making a cool deck or playing a new cool deck. And
Yeah,
maybe making the meta bad. Who knows? That board that we were seeing at that Vegas regional was really scary.
Yeah, I'll have another video up with the full combo because it does take a while for that, and to make this video even longer there, that would be kind of hard. I want to again make sure this is not my deck though for the build. That is Tom. He's my teammate again. He got topped with Gouki, which was the bad build with warlord control. So all the credit for that goes to him for this.
For sure. Yeah. Again, congratulations on your win, and thank you for the deck profile.